Okay, what are we gonna do? I have no idea. But what I do know is that this weekend I am turning 60, and I wasn't gonna do a themed workout. But, you know, I kind of gotta. So let's just try some things out, and hopefully I'll have it all worked out by Saturday. So what I'd like to do is, since it's my birthday, I want to go over my progressions, and we're going to work our way up to 60 reps. So we're going to start out with my progressions, which are 2-hand swings. These are not roundabout progressions. These are just your basic kettlebell swing, Tracy Riff, SwingLean progressions. Transfer swings. We have to do the progressions that will fit into 10 reps. 5 and 5, I guess it would be a ladder, right? 3 and 2 ladder, 5 and 5, and then 10 one-hand swings, right and left separate. So we're gonna do some sets of 10, 2 sets of 10 of each progression, starting and ending with 2-hand swings. So let's see how many sets that is. Then we're gonna go to sets of 20, and then we'll go to sets of 60. How about that? So, alrighty, I'm gonna start the clock, and we're gonna start with 2-hand swings, 2 sets of each progression, except for the 1-hand swings where we're gonna do 10 on the right and 10 on the left. We're just gonna do 1 set of each, all right? Because that's 2 sets of 10. All right, so we'll start out with 2-hand swings for 10 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 60 reps takes a minute and a half. We'll have to think about how we're gonna take our rest. Second set, 2 hands for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Transfer swings, switch every time. So this is a 1-hand swing, 1 at a time, right? We're gonna switch hands every time for 10 reps. 2 sets, switch every time for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I knew if I started with this jacket on, I'd get hot really fast. Second set of transfer swings. Switch every time for 10 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, here's our ladder. 3 and 3, 2 and 2. 3 and 3, 2 and 2. 1-hand swings. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2 and 2. 1, 2, 1, and 2. Same thing, 2 sets of each progression. 3 and 3, 2 and 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2 and 2. 1, 2, 1, and 2. 5 and 5, 2 sets of 5, 5. Ten rep progressions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, same thing. 5 and 5 is 10. Start with one hand, switch on 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2 and 2. 1, 2, 1 and 2. All right, so we have 2-hand swings, we have transfer swings, we have our ladder, we have 5 and 5. Here's 10 at a time. That's 5 progressions. 10 reps. Do not switch hands. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Other side. For 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, back to 2-hand swings. 2 sets of 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. One more set of 10 2-hand swings. So I thought we'd go to sets of 20, but I might change that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so let's go to 20 reps with 2 hands. Yep, we'll do that. Because I need more rest to figure out what we're gonna do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway, one more. All right, so it took us 6 minutes to do our sets of 10. That was our first set of 20. Let's go to transfer swings for 20. Again, we're going up the progressions, uphill. Switch every time. These are the training progressions, not the learning progressions. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, halfway. 10 more. Last one. What's the difference between training progressions and learning progressions? Well, the transfer swing is difficult to learn, to switch every time so quickly. So the learning progressions start out with more one-hand swings before you have to transfer. But once you know how to transfer, switching every time is not that big of a deal. Here's our ladder. It's a 4 through 1 ladder. 4 through 1 ladder is 20 reps. Switch hands. Switch hands. 3 and 3. twice coming up. So once you know the transfer swing, then it's easy to switch every time. But if you don't know the transfer swing and all you know is the two-hand swing, then having to switch hands in midair without practice is not easy. I never do it with beginners. 5 and 5 twice. Switch. Switch. Halfway. Switch. And we're done. So what I think we're going to do is, here's our 10 and 10 twice. Once is 20 reps. We're going to go to 40 reps when we're done. And then we'll go to 60. So let's do our 10 at a time. One hand swings, and then we've got to do a set of two hand swings. Switch hands. Last one. Okay, so two hand swings are the easiest and the hardest. So they're the easiest when the rep count is low, like 10 and 20. Once we hit 40, it starts to get harder to do two hand swings. So therefore it's the hardest progression. Let's start out with 40 reps with two hands, and you'll see what I mean. There's 10, 30 more. Halfway. Last 10. One more. Okay. That took us a minute. We'll take a minute break. All right, so if you're not used to doing long sets of two hand swings, I find that about 40, depending on the weight you're using, you start to feel it in your forearms and your grip. So anything after 40 is really difficult for a lot of people if they're using the right weight. I'll have to say that. So ironically enough, transfer swings, once you get to 40 and above, is also more difficult than lower rep count. So let's see how that goes. Switch every time for 40 reps. There's 10. Halfway. Last 10 reps. Woohoo! So the reason why transfer swings is potentially more difficult is when you switch hands at the top of a transfer swing, there's a split second where you have no feedback because neither hand is really on the bell. And you still have to stand up, finish your hips, contract your thighs and your butt and your abs. And to do that, when there's literally weightless at the top, is more difficult. That being said, what is the easiest? Ladders. So that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna do a 6 through 2 ladder. 6 through 2 ladder. It gets easier and easier. It's a downhill ladder as we get to the end. 6 reps. Switch hands. Switch hands, 5 and 5. There's another reason why ladders are easier. Switch hands. Switch hands, 4 and 4. Switch. Switch, 3 and 3. 2 and 2. Last 2. And we're done. Okay, do you know what the other reason is? Ladders are easier. Because they're distracting. Your focus is on when to switch hands and not on the amount of work that you're doing. So, 1, you get to switch hands more often, but not too often. And you're thinking about, okay, what's next, what's next, what's next? And it takes your focus off of the amount of work you're doing, distracting you. All right, 5 and 5, 4 times. This is actually my least favorite progression. Next to 10 and 10. Here we go, 5 at a time for 1 minute. Switch. 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 Last 5. Okay, so 10 and 10 is actually my least favorite progression. But 5 and 5 is a close second. What is your least favorite? Or let's start out with something positive. What's your favorite? If you're like me and 99.9% of everybody else, it's ladders. For the 2 reasons why I mentioned. You get to switch more often. And focus it and changes the focus off of the amount of work you're doing onto the pattern. the rep count. Alrighty. 10 at a time for 1 minute. Switch. 10 at a time is probably a favorite progression for men more so than women. And I'll tell you why when we're done. Why I think why. Might have miscounted there. It's a theory. So because men have stronger upper bodies, they have an easier time stabilizing the asymmetrical loading. So for me, I can really feel it in my back. Especially heavy one-hand swings. So just reminds me that the swing is a total body movement, but it does stress, the one-hand swing does stress those stabilizing muscles. So you have to incorporate those bigger muscles to help with those smaller muscles. Okay, so what are we gonna do? 42 hand swings? No, we're just gonna go to 60. And I'll tell you why when we're done with 60 reps, 2 hands. We'll take a minute break when we're done. There's 10. There's 21. Reps, halfway. Twenty more. Woo! 1 minute. Okay, so why did I decide not to do the 40? Because I don't want to do 42 hand swings and then do 60. That's ridiculous. $30 seconds. And besides, when I looked at the clock, I'm like, you know what? I think we can get our sets of 60 done in exactly the time we need. But we'll see. Okay, so maybe not, darn it. No, I don't think so. We might have to go over. Transfer swing, 60 reps, really? Duh! Here we go, switch every time. There's 10. 20. 30. 40. 50. 1 minute. Woo-hoo. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out in my head if we can do a combination of all the progressions and add up to 60 reps. 10, 10, 5, 5, 3, 2, transfer swings and 2 hand swings, we can. So that's gonna be our last set. But before we get to our last set, we've got to do a ladder. I believe a 60 rep ladder starts with 8 and goes down to 4. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We'll find out. Here we go. Switch. 8. Switch. 7 and 7. 1. Switch. 6 and 6. 1, 2. Switch. 5 and 5. Switch. 4 and 4. Switch. 1 minute. Okay, so I was off by 1 set. So this just gives me an idea how to adjust it, because I do want to get it into a 30-minute routine. But we're going to go over today, and because we're going to go over, I was going to replace that 10 and 10, a set of 60, 10 at a time. I was going to replace it with just the progressive ladder. But if we're going to go over by 2 minutes, we might as well go over by 4. So we'll continue on 5 at a time for 60 reps. Switch. Switch. Last 5 and 5. Woohoo! 2 more sets. We'll take a minute here. Alrighty. 10 at a time. Okay, well the nice thing about 10 at a time is after 10 and 10 we're a third of the way done. And then another 10 and 10 and we're more than halfway done. So it should go by faster, right? Let's find out. 10 and 10, 2 more sets and we're done with our pre-birthday workout. 10 at a time for 60 reps. Switch. 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 Woohoo! Last 10. Woohoo! 1 minute. All right, here's our ladder using the progressions. 10 and 10, 5 and 5, 3 and 3, 2 and 2, transfer swings, 2 hands at the end for 10 more. Last set. Don't know how many swings are going to be in this 35-minute workout, but it's more than 600. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 and 2. switch every time for 10. Two hands, last 10 reps. One. Woohoo! 35-minute workout. I'll count the reps and let you know. Get ready for Saturday.